Have you ever met someone who did not seem loud, flashy, or desperate to impress anyone, but after talking to them for 2 minutes, you could tell they were operating on a completely different level? It is usually not because they know more random facts. It's because they think differently. And the strange part is that a lot of highly intelligent people do not look impressive at first. In fact, some of their smartest habits can be mistaken for hesitation, quietness, or even uncertainty. But once you know what to look for, you start seeing the pattern everywhere. By the end of this video, you will understand the 11 daily habits that highly intelligent people tend to do, why these behaviors matter, and how they shape the way smart people learn, react, solve problems, and make decisions. And number 8 is probably the most underrated one. First, they ask questions constantly. Smart people do not assume they already understand everything. They keep asking, why does this work? What am I missing? What is really going on here? That matters because curiosity is not just a personality trait. When people are curious, they remember information better. So, when an intelligent person asks a lot of questions, it is not because they are lost. It is often because their brain is actively building a deeper map of reality. Second, they spend time thinking before reacting. Most people confuse speed with intelligence, but one of the strongest signs of real intelligence is the ability to pause. There is a well-known line of research on something called cognitive reflection, which is basically your ability to resist the first automatic answer that pops into your mind and think a little deeper. That tendency predicts better performance on reasoning and judgment tasks. So when someone does not react instantly, it's not always a weakness. Sometimes it is just control. Third, they observe more than they speak. Some of the smartest people in the room are not the ones talking the most. They are the ones quietly collecting information. They listen to tone. They watch body language. They notice what people avoid saying. They pay attention before making conclusions. That's powerful because good questioning and good listening work together. Research on conversation shows that asking thoughtful questions and listening well can improve understanding and may even make other people more open, because the more you observe, the less you have to guess. Fourth, they notice patterns. This is where intelligence starts to look almost unfair. Highly intelligent people often spot connections that other people miss. They notice that the same mistake keeps showing up in different forms. They notice that a person's small habits predict bigger outcomes. They notice that today's problem is actually a repeat of something from 6 months ago. And that's why they often seem good at everything. But a lot of the time, they are just very good at recognizing patterns and applying lessons across situations. Fifth, they change their mind when new facts appear. This one is huge. Many people think intelligence means defending your opinion at all costs. However, one of the clearest signs of intelligence is the ability to update your beliefs. Psychologists often connect this to intellectual humility, which means recognizing that your knowledge has limits and that your beliefs might be wrong. This mindset can help protect people from error and bias. So, when a smart person changes their mind, it's not an inconsistency, but intellectual honesty. Sixth, they do not need to prove they are smart. This is one of the most underrated habits on the list. Truly intelligent people usually do not burn energy trying to look intelligent. Why? Because once your goal is truth and not ego, showing off becomes a distraction. That's why the smartest person in the room is often the one that's the least interested in winning a performance. Seventh, they are comfortable saying, I don't know. This connects directly to intellectual humility. Being able to say, I don't know, is not a weakness. In many cases, it is actually a sign of confidence and maturity. It shows that a person cares more about truth than about protecting their image. Their identity is not so fragile that they feel the need to pretend they have all the answers. And that matters because fake certainty can block real growth. The moment someone acts as if they already know everything, they stop paying attention, stop asking questions, and stop learning. Ironically, the people who can admit uncertainty are often the ones who learn the fastest. They are easier to teach, more willing to update their beliefs, and less likely to get trapped by their own ego. 8. They protect their time and focus. This is one of the habits people underestimate the most. A person can be very talented, very knowledgeable, and still perform far below their potential if their attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. Intelligence alone is not enough if the mind never gets the chance to go deep. Psychology research on attention shows that when we keep switching from one task to another, part of the mind often stays attached to the previous task. This is known as attention residue, and it makes it harder to fully focus on what is right in front of us. Over time, that kind of constant interruption can make thinking feel more shallow, rushed, and fragmented. That is why highly intelligent people often take their focus so seriously. They understand that deep thinking needs space, silence, and uninterrupted time. Ninth, they reflect on their mistakes. Smart people do not just fail and move on as if nothing happened. They take a moment to look back and study it. What exactly went wrong? What did I miss? Was it a bad assumption, a rushed decision, or a pattern I keep repeating without noticing? That reflection matters because mistakes can either become a lesson or just become wasted pain. Research suggests that the way people respond to their errors affects how well they recover, adapt, and improve afterward. People who pay closer attention to their mistakes are often better at adjusting their behavior the next time. So the difference is not that intelligent people never mess up. They absolutely do. The difference is that they do not let the mistake end at embarrassment or frustration. They turn it into feedback. They extract value from the mess, and that is often what helps them grow faster than everyone else. 10th, they break big problems into smaller pieces. When most people see a huge problem, they freeze or panic because the whole thing feels too heavy to carry at once. But highly intelligent people often do the opposite. Instead of staring at the full weight of the problem, they start reducing the complexity. They ask, what is the first part? What can be tested? What is actually under my control right now? That shift matters because a problem always feels more intimidating when it stays vague. Once it is broken into smaller parts, it becomes easier to understand, easier to manage, and much less emotionally overwhelming. That is one reason intelligent people can seem calm under pressure. They are not obsessing over the entire mountain in front of them. They are focused on the next small step that moves them forward. 11th, they read or learn something every day. And this habit quietly multiplies all the others. Learning keeps mental models fresh. It gives you more patterns to compare. It makes your thinking less shallow. Neuroscience has long shown that the brain remains plastic, meaning it can keep adapting through learning. That's one reason why daily learning matters so much. So, if you ever wonder why intelligent people keep reading, studying, or exploring new ideas even when nobody is forcing them to, this is why. They know the mind sharpens through use. So, what do all 11 habits have in common? None of them are about looking smart. They are about thinking clearly, asking instead of assuming, pausing instead of reacting, listening instead of performing, learning instead of pretending. And that may be the biggest sign of intelligence of all. If you made it this far, comment clarity, so I know you watched until the end, and let me know which of these signs did you notice in yourself.